first things that we did was right around Thanksgiving, either before and after. You get about $1 million. If you remember, I showed you the clip from Eddie Murphy, and it mentioned in there that the salary was like 155. It's closer to 2. I think it mentioned in there the staff allowance was about 550,000. It's about $1 million now. And the idea is that if a challenger has to quit their job, I mean, a lot of people can't quit their jobs. It's going to be harder to run. If your staff is paid for by your congressional office, whereas the challenger has got to pay for theirs after they've quit their job, you see how this is going to make it actually harder. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's money, there's salary, there's experience, there's franking. What's that?
5 points.
Oh, is it 5?
Yes.
Okay, my bad. Okay, anything else you can tell me? 4, 3. Now, we've talked about franking. We talked about name recognition. Experience, money.
Access to donors?
Go ahead.
Access to donors.
Go ahead.
They have more bundlers for them to raise fundraising events.
The idea is that if you remember what the typical range was, the chance of being reelected? Do you remember what that was when I showed you a little chart? It's over 90%. And if I'm a donor, odds are I'm going to be more inclined to give to the person that's got the 90% chance versus the person that has the 6% chance. So donors' access is kind of a big deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then the other piece on this, you could argue gerrymandering. And in the article with gerrymandering, it was Barack who said, I want a system. It's terrible when we have a system where the politicians pick their voters rather than the voters picking their politicians. And I know we dealt with that. Go ahead, touch the house. Y'all did give me the last correct answer. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 63. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 48. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 32. This is still open to be had, but we only...
for 1.
Oh, wow, big spenders. Click it. 22nd Amendment. First hand. Actually, y'all have it first. Y'all will have it next. 22nd Amendment. 5, 4, 3. It looks like you don't know. 2, 1. Go.
2-term limit for the president.
Yeah, it does say that. 1. Okay, can you tell me exactly what it says? Because it says several things in there. And I don't need it like word for word, but just explain to me what it means. So you have a 2-term limit, and then there was something else.
Yeah, the president can serve for no more than 10 years total, because he can be elected twice, and then if he can be the vice president, come into office if something happens to the president for the 2 years.
As long as you do not serve longer than 2 years to a term to which someone else was elected president, then you can be elected and re-elected as long as it doesn't go over 10 years. Do you remember who the one president was that actually was elected more than twice?
FDR.
It was actually FDR, and this was passed right after, almost 6 years after FDR passed. Go ahead, touch the house, pick me a category. You're in second place. Here's your chance.
Articles for 1 point.
Wow, that's what you go with.
Yeah.
According to the article and the text, what are the #1 attributes to be president? There's one from the article and there's one from the text. This was a this week thing. This was a Wednesday thing.
Oh, well.
Wednesday, 2 days ago. The #1 attribute to be president from the text, #1 attribute from an article. 5, 4, 3, 2. Mary raised her hand. Go, Mary. Look, her hand's still up. You see this. Go, Mary. Courage. Yeah. Courage is the #1 attribute according to the article. And I was just being a jerk. You really do. You remember what the #1 attribute was from the text? Okay. Go ahead. Click it. It was actually persuasion. And the idea was, this is right out of the outline, the president, if the president has to use his powers, in fact has failed, but it was Truman that said, my job is to convince people to do what they damn well already know they're supposed to be doing. Pick me a category. Y'all are in last, but it's close. That usually means pick a higher point question so you have a chance. The other groups don't do that. Maybe you will. I need an answer. The clock's ticking. Executive for 5, she says. List all you can. The 25th Amendment. Have we done? We haven't done that. Go ahead. You got it second, but you've got it first. 5, 4, 3.
So president leaves, then vice president takes over.
Section 1 says that when the president is no longer going to be president, that in fact the vice president will rise to that office. Give me number 2. 5, 4, 3.
Vice president is president and will get president by the House and the Senate.
I'm sorry, what's all that now? Go, get really close on them, because now I'm losing patience. 4, 3.
Whenever there is a vacancy in the office of the vice president, the president shall nominate a vice president who shall take office upon confirmation by a majority vote of both houses of Congress.
Okay, now I will give you points for that, and that is kind of a big deal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the one spot where it's not just the president that appoints, pardon me, the Senate that confirms, but it's the House and the Senate that confirms. Why would they add this to the Constitution? Because it seems really straightforward. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Can we list section 3?
No. Why would they add this?
Because the vice president is so important because he's a heartbeat away from the presidency, so they need a way to elect someone that, or not elect, but have someone be vice president that they can trust to be president if that would.
You're really, really close, but there's like one last little piece in there. Why would they add this? Because I don't disagree with anything you said, but there's a reason that I went over.
But beforehand, they had no idea what to do, so at one point it was left vacant for a little while.
That's right. The idea was that when there was a vacancy in the vice presidency, because the Constitution didn't specify, people would serve as president without a vice president until the next election cycle because they weren't sure what to do. What's section 3? 5, 4. Go ahead.
Vice president can act as the president temporary. And then
The vice president can act as the president temporary. Go ahead.
and then he can return the power to the president.
How does that work? You're right, but how does it
So
work?
when the president is sick or cannot, like,
Yeah, if the president is unable to fulfill his duties, he can write a letter to Congress saying that he's giving the power to the vice president temporarily, and when he's ready to take it back, he can write a letter and take
So
it
it's a
back.
written declaration.
When the president, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They still have control though. So when the president puts in writing the inability to fulfill the duties of the president to the leadership of the House, leadership of the Senate, then at that point the vice president will take over. And I'm kind of cobbling together what y'all said. And then when the president wants to take it back, then at that point the president can issue this letter again, and the president automatically will then become president again. Can you give me any examples?
George W. Bush, when he went in anesthesia, he wrote a letter to Congress
For what?
for.
Wow. Go ahead.
So the vice president, I believe Dick Cheney at that point was temporarily president.
Yeah, that's right. George W. actually had was concerned about some potentially cancerous growths. He did write the letter, and what they do typically is that they will announce that the president had given up power after the president is back in power. Anything you can tell me about Section 4? Because I know we're just about out of time.
The VP and the cabinet can take the presidency from the president if they deem that the president is unable to fulfill their duties.
If the vice president and a majority of the cabinet deem the president is unfit for office, they can submit a letter to the leadership of the House, leadership of the Senate, and who then becomes president?
Vice president.
And then if the president wants to become president again, can the president just write the letter?
No.
No. Who does? Who gives it back to the president?
The vice president and the cabinet.
And the cabinet. Yeah, that's right. Anything else you can tell me about Section 4? 4, 3, 2, 1. Y'all are convulsing over here. Anything you want to tell me about Section 4?
Section 4, they said everything.
It's never happened, Section 4.
Well, it's almost rumored in the White House currently that that is going to happen.
Okay, but it's never happened yet. Never happened yet. 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. Oh, it looks like we have a new winner. Okay, so Max Group, if y'all will sign your names to a paper and write plus 13.
You just won this for us.
Okay, Artie, pick me a category. They want to go one more.
No, there's no time. There's no time.
What time is it? I got 10:48. Pick me one more category.
Articles for 2 points.
Articles for 2. List all you can. Birthers.
Oh.
You've got it next, but y'all have it now.
Okay, so these people, they didn't want Obama in power, so they came up with like this whole conspiracy theory about how he was really Kenyan and like or like African or something like that.
Kenyan or African.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the same
And
place.
they
You
want
said that.
to see his birth certificate.
Yeah.
The birthers are the ones that believe that Barack actually was not born in the country when he was running, and in fact, many people still don't believe it to this day. Anything else you can tell me?
It was spearheaded by Donald Trump.
Actually, Trump did. This is part of the reason why there's such animosity there. Go ahead.
Wait.
The governor of Hawaii, who was Republican at the time, did go on and confirm that he was born in Hawaii.
Yeah, that's true. And do you remember? Go ahead.
No, what were you going to say?
No, I was going to say, there was a video I showed y'all. Do you remember what it was?
Yes, Michelle Obama accidentally said.
Oh, that's a good one, too. Yeah, go ahead.
Michelle Obama accidentally said at an event that.
Said what?
Michelle Obama accidentally said at an event that she, when talking about Kenya, that was his, where he was.
Home country. Yeah, make sure that you're clean on that. The home country. And there was another video that I showed y'all. 5.
Mike Castle. Mike Castle.
Zoom in on Superport. Go ahead. If you're going to just blow it like that. No. This is Superport now. Get close. No, come on. You got to get right over here. You know. Come on, right over here.
Wondering about where Obama is from.
Mike Castle was?
Wait.
-2.
From a woman in
Yeah, the
town
woman.
hall in
The
Delaware.
woman.
A woman from a town hall. A woman from a town hall.
What state?
I'm sorry.
Delaware.
Delaware Town Hall. Yes.
They said she made everyone stand up and say the Pledge of Allegiance.
Yes, she really did as a tribute. Okay, we're out of time now. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70, 71. Wow, it looks like 73. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55, 60, 65, 70. It is 73. And then this looks like 43. So if y'all will sign your names really fast, because I got to go upload this. You can stop filming it.